Shall I move on? Cambodia. Last October, you expressed deep concern about the serious violation of human rights faced by 15 parliamentarians of the CNRP, the only opposition party represented in the Cambodian parliament. You concluded that they were being prevented from effectively playing their role as parliamentarians and members of the opposition freely without fear of prosecution. You endorsed our committee's recommendations following its mission to Cambodia in February 2016 and expressed the hope that the significant progress would be made towards the resolution of the cases before your next meeting in Dhaka. However, I regret to report that no progress has been made in that decision after 2.5 years. The committee has therefore come to the conclusion that there was a lack of political will on the part of Cambodian authorities to resolve the cases. This is a conclusion that we regret, but given the seriousness of the current situation, it's our responsibility to alert you, and I can assure you that we have separated no effort in promoting dialogue and solution compliant with human rights standards. The committee is alarmed at the escalation of harassment of the opposition members of parliament on the eve of the local elections in Cambodia. Among many new recent developments of concern brought to our attention, the most worrying one is the prospect that the CNRP opposition party may be dissolved and not allowed to take part in the upcoming elections following recent amendments made to the political party law. We believe that political dialogue is the only avenue to resolve the current crisis. We also consider that such dialogue can only be useful when there is a sufficient space for dissent and for the peaceful exercise of the freedom of expression, association, and peaceful assembly. We therefore urge once again the ruling party and the opposition to urgently resolve the cases at hand and in strict compliance with human rights standards. We also consider that it's crucial for the CNRP to be able to stand in the upcoming elections. We encourage the IPU to facilitate the political dialogue and to mediate in the crisis to the end. I understand that the IPU president has been invited to Cambodia to also look into the possibility. I invite you to adopt the draft decision set out on the page 13 of the English and French versions.
Thank you. Members of the Council, let me also add to that report. I will give you the floor in a minute, Cambodia. The Executive Committee reached out to the Cambodian delegation participating in this assembly to request a hearing with a politically balanced delegation as we always do. However, the members of the delegation from the ruling party were unable to attend, citing time constraints. Ms. Samora Tiolong, an opposition member of the parliament, spoke with the committee and presented her views. She asked the IPU to urge the Cambodian authorities to consider the value of political alternance and the essential role of the opposition in any democracy. I give the floor to the Secretary General to add anything further on this, and then I will give the floor to Cambodia.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you have just indicated, one side of the Cambodian delegation was not present at the meeting of the Executive Committee. Subsequent to the meeting of the Executive Committee, I met with a member of the Cambodian delegation who confirmed to me that there had been some misunderstanding regarding that hearing that had been scheduled with the Executive Committee, something he regretted. He also confirmed that the Cambodian authorities, including the parliamentary authorities in Cambodia, would welcome a visit by the President of the IPU, as well as any other members of the IPU, to gain a clear understanding of what is happening in Cambodia today in order to identify how best the IPU could provide support in resolving the so-called crisis in Cambodia today. Mr. President, you may want then to take note of this willingness of all parties to the conflict to welcome a mission to Cambodia in order to look at how the IPU can best help resolve the situation, including the cases of human rights of parliamentarians that are before the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General. I acknowledge the delegation of Cambodia. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for giving us a chance to reply. We, the Cambodian delegation, representing the Senate and the National Assembly, not the political party, rejects this proposed decision or resolution on the ground that, one, you only take one side position no matter how much we try to explain to your Human Rights Committee, or maybe your Human Rights Committee did not report to you all what we said. Two, the President of our Senate and the President of our National Assembly prepared to welcome your visit so you can talk to leaders of the Senate, the leader of the National Assembly, the administration, the parties involved, and other parties. You did not go, but now the invitation is still open. Three, I just sort of wonder when 3 million Cambodians living in hell and dying in hell from 1975 to 1979, to be exact, 3 years, 8 months, and 20 days. Where were the United Nations? Where were the IPU? I would like to, my friend, to continue.
Thank you, Mr. President. This decision is unacceptable to the Cambodian delegation. Views of our Cambodian delegation in this decision has not been given a fair consideration. For this reason, this decision is biased. Text of the recently adopted amendment on political party law is available in English and in French. You can study that. Without an in-depth study of this law, it is naive to make such a statement by the Committee on Human Rights of Parliamentarians. The law targets no one political party. Mr. President, of the 66 parties, only one party makes such statements. So this is not the truth. It's not in the spirit of the law. Please be assured that all registered parties will participate and allowed to participate in the upcoming election in June this year. Sir, resumption of political dialogue is not needed because it never stops. The ruling party continues to its commitment and honor the culture of dialogue that has been agreed between the two main parties in the Assembly. The Cambodian delegation asks all dear colleagues in this General Assembly to reject by not adopting the resolution submitted because it is incomplete and biased. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your views, the delegation from Cambodia. Let me just quickly respond to a few of the issues. Number one, I'm not aware of our silence or inaction in the past, but if we have done that, it doesn't mean that we cannot set things right. If we have done things in a wrong manner in the past, it doesn't mean that is a precedence for the present and the future. Number two, with regard to your statement that I did not go, I had every intention to travel, and I don't want to go into the details, but I think you are aware of the logistics issues which did not facilitate my travel. So the intention was certainly to travel, and it is, again, I am reiterating that, and thank you for the invitation. I do intend to travel to Cambodia and meet with you and all your colleagues. We have two issues at hand. One is the alleged violation of rights of parliamentarians, and the other is the overall political situation. So the committee is an independent body within the IPU. I think they generally do great work. Sometimes the work that they do and the results that they bring to the table may not be a source of comfort for governments of the day. But that is how we as parliamentarians work. This is the system of checks and balances that we have in all countries. I have one very quick question for you. I was very heartened to hear that all parties can take part in the elections. Do you have a law in Cambodia which says that if the head or if the president of the party is convicted on criminal charges, then the registration of that whole party is in fact banned. Is that the case? So for the crimes of an individual, the whole party cannot take part in an election? Can you please clarify that?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an issue that was raised falsely by other parties, and I don't believe there's anybody in this world, any country, that allow a political party to be headed by a criminal or one convicted. Our amendment that we done to the political party law is intended just to make sure that a party is not led by one that is disqualified according to our law. So this is anybody, any party that is headed by a criminal or convicted will not be allowed to participate in the election. We have that law, and this.
Yeah, thank you.
Somebody
so to
need
clarify,
to tell me.
I
Yes.
understand what you're saying about a leader of a party being convicted. One is whether that individual is allowed to remain as the head of the party, and the other is whether the party is disqualified by virtue of the fact that they have a president who has been criminally convicted. So can you please clarify that very quickly?
Now, Mr. President, if the convicted person continues to be the head of the party is not qualified. So there's no party in the world that will be allowed to be headed by a convicted party.
Just to address the concern of our friends from Cambodia, the committee gave chance for both sides to present their issue, both for the ruling party and the opposition in the committee. We hope with the mission of the IPU president, political dialogue will be faster in a way that the opposition parties will have a chance to participate in the upcoming fourth election of local elections and the national election of next year.
Thank you very much.
I just have 1 minute. I just have 1 second to clarify this, if you don't mind. If a person convicted, if one person got convicted, that person cannot register for vote. If he cannot register for vote, how could he become the head of the party? Thank you.
Thank you, Cambodia. You've had a chance to speak. I think we can go on arguing on that point, but I would like to move on, and thank you for your views. Can you please raise up your vote so that I can see? That's Malta? Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Just a very brief intervention. My colleague from Cambodia, from the opposition in Cambodia, has described the situation in Cambodia as unacceptable. If we are truly here to promote democracy, and I have no doubt that we are here to promote democracy, I think we cannot accept such a situation. If I understood well, 2.5 years ago, there was an appeal to the ruling party to respect the rights of the opposition. I think if the IPU is credible and has a wish to be seen as credible, I believe that we need to take more drastic action. We cannot continue to try to dialogue, but I think we need to convey a very strong message to the ruling party that this is truly unacceptable. Otherwise, I regret to say that this will become a joke. Nobody will be taking us seriously as an IPU. Thank you.
Well, if I had a chance to reply, you don't want us to go back to live under the Khmer rules again, do you, mister? We don't want to go back to live under the Khmer rule again. We will not go back at any cost. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I remind all delegations to observe the normal protocol of requesting for the floor by raising the boards that you have in front of you, and I will accordingly give the floor to you. Members of the Council, we have had a long discussion on this. We have the very clear recommendations of the Committee on Human Rights of Parliamentarians. This is set out in page 13 of the English and French versions. We have also heard from the Cambodian delegation. If you wish to adopt based on the recommendations of the committee, then we will adopt it, and we will also put on record the note of the Cambodian delegation and also the views from the delegation of Malta. Do I take it that you wish to proceed with adopting the resolution? Okay. Thank you. It is so adopted, and we will, of course, make a note of the statement, the objection from the Cambodian delegation, and also the suggestion from Malta.